Hey Rum fans, welcome back to the channel. Thursday the 14th of December. Nice early morning tasting for me. A little bit of a busy day ahead. So this is getting done early doors. And it's one of these things, when you've got all these choices, I've got my red shirt, I've got my blue, another white shirt up there. I've got all these choices. And I'm just like, yeah, let's just put the blue one back on again today. I don't know which shirt I should be wearing at this point. It's on the channel where I've got to sort this out in the new year. I'm going to have a little waffle now. But in the new year, I started off with all intentions of doing this on all the channels, but wearing a different shirt on each channel. But when you're batch filming, and these are filmed sort of daily at the moment, but when you're batch filming on the other channels, you sometimes forget to change shirts in between videos. And it's like, oops. So I've just been wearing that white shirt for a lot of videos, but I kind of need to sort that. I've got a plan for something, but I kind of need to sort that out in the new year. Anyway, Thursday the 14th, let's crack on. A couple, the last few rums have been, or last few rums have been great. And the last three, all this week, I've been really happy with all this week's. And yesterday's did kind of answer that question that I've had for a long while. It's like, actually, is OVD better than Skipper? Is it not? So that was good. So we don't know the answers to that. Go and watch yesterday's. Right, it's a Browning. This might be a revisit in a few weeks as well, because I'll hope, you might guess in this. Looking forward to this, though. Admiral, if you could get that steady, Admiral Rodney HMS Formidable. So very quick story of why this might be a revisit is simply because I've decided that January's deep dive is going to be St. Lucian rum. It didn't quite win the vote on the channel, on the poll, but I think for me it's the next natural step. And there isn't many rums. It'll be 1 month as opposed to Barbados has been 2 months. Jamaica has been 2 months. Could have been 3 months. It will be 1 month because essentially you have one distillery, St. Lucian Distillers, which creates 3 brands: Bounty, Chairman's Reserve, Admiral Rodney, in that order. The brands do have different DNAs. For example, Bounty is all the Vendome column still. I think that's right. Chairman's Reserve is a blend of the pot and the column stills, and Admiral Rodney is also just a blend, just the column still rums, as far as I know. As far as I haven't refreshed my knowledge, but that's how it's. So Admiral Rodney is the top of the tree. Chairman's Reserve is kind of that sort of mid-tier sort of rums, and the Bounty is the entry-level rums. But there's some cracking rums with Bounty. Anyway, this may or may not feature because this does completely blow the budget on my channel, £50, $60 US. The price for this is $78.45. This is the most expensive of the 3 Admiral Rodneys. We've got the Royal Oak, which is the mid-range one here. It's about 55-ish, I think, this one. So this one is the more aged version. As I say, Chairman St. Lucian Distillers are all about blending different rums together. They don't have age statements. They're all about using different blends. Okay, so you could sort of say, well, if there's a 12-year-old rum in here, it's the youngest blend, it's a 12-year-old. But they focus more on blending and putting names on them than they do giving you age statements. So $78.45 is how much that costs here in the UK. That translates virtually near as damn it $100 US, 91.5 euros. 100, let's just round up. 150 Australian dollars is 149.49. So 149.50 US Australian dollars and 134.5 Canadian dollars. I think the euro's getting stronger at the moment, because it used to, when I first started doing this comparison, it was 50 UK pounds, British sterling if you like, $60, 60 euros. Now you can tell it's like, well, it's almost, $9 different, €9 difference between the dollars, which is kind of interesting. Right, let's have a little deep dive into the old Formidable. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Weirdly, the first aroma that I get is menthol. There's a lot of other things going on here at the same time. Don't get me wrong, this is not mojito in a glass, but the top note I'm really picking off is mint. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. I'm struggling to get past that mint. Yes, there's like little hints of vanilla in there. Yes, there's little nods to barrel aging. Mint. I'm just getting mint. That's crazy. And while I'm smelling that, I think I've just had a flashback. Did I say the Vendome? I forget. I know I've said the Vendome, but I don't know in what relation I said. The Vendome is obviously the pot still, and it's obviously the column coffee still that they have for the columns. So the Bounty and the Admiral Rodney's comes off the column, the coffee column still. And basically, it's, if you want just to get without very basic knowledge, it's the amount of plates. Different amount of plates in column stills create very different rums. That's how you can create very different cheaper rums in the form of Bounty compared to very well refined rums off the same stills using columns and plates. So yeah, I don't know. I probably said it right the first time around, but if I didn't, I definitely, the Vendome is the pot still, and the coffee is the column still. Anyway, I'm seriously struggling to get anything past this. I don't think this will be remotely close to being a neck pour in one of those mad influences like I had with the it's at the back there now, the Rums JM, what are they called? The Jardin Fruit, for instance, where it was just like mango coming off there for days and then dialed down after 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think it's the alcohol that's bursting out of there. I'm just getting mint. Mint is the top note, and there ain't much coming out apart from your normal sort of oaky vanilla there, but it's overshadowed by the mint, definitely. This is a beautiful rum. I've forgotten I should have looked at this. I should take a minute. This will come during the St. Lucia deep dive. I think as this is the older Admiral Rodney, I think this is the 9 to 12 blend of 9 to 12-year-old rums in here. I think that's right. We'll discuss this more in January. You don't need too much knowledge now. It's only a few weeks away. But my point being here is that for me, I'm far more suited to aged Chairman's Reserve rums than I am Barbados. It's just one of these things, that was, I've always said this, but it hit me November time, but early October, but definitely November, going through the Barbados rums, and I was just like, do you know what, these don't excite me. They really don't excite me. They're right, they're decent rums, but they're just like, they're right, and that is probably an unpopular opinion. But when I have a solution rum, I'm like, ooh, there's different layers, there's different things going on. It's like, the only way I can describe it from my point of view is that Barbados rums, the big guns, Foursquare, Mount Gay, and WID, even though they produce a lot of rums, different rums of plantation, they've all been doing the same thing for years and years and years and years. And there's no evolution, if you like. It's just, well, we've been making rum this way for X amount of years. Why change? And that is probably me. As I say, it's the unpopular opinion. I get it. There's a reason why the rum connoisseurs go nuts every time Richard Seal drops a new ECS. There's a couple of thousand bottles available, and they just go nuts to clamour it. But for me, it's not the same rum every time. It's just, well, it's similar, and I don't get that. My palate doesn't get those nuances. Whereas every kind of Chairman's Reserve, every kind of Admiral Rodney, even the Bounty, I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? And this is just something completely unique. Yes, this is column still rum. You do get rich and robust column still rums, but this is still going on. It's so light, but there's so many different flavours coming off there. There is mint. It reminds me of a mojito, but nowhere near as much as the aroma. The aroma is definitely mint forward. This is a lovely, well-balanced minty, chocolatey, coffee, vanilla. And as it kind of lengthens out, you do get those wood notes, but it ain't soggy wet wood. Far from it. This is even though it's 9 to 12 years old, I will confirm that in January. This is lovely aged. This is a real pleasure to sip neat. And just swilling it over the top of the tongue, around your mouth this time. There's honey vibes coming off. There's more vanilla coming off. It's still, there's fruit coming off, pineapple. But that is just, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just me having a Debbie Downer on Barbados and it's all that in my head. And actually, I want to big up the little guys, and Solution Distillers are the little guys compared to Barbados. Of course they are. I always back the little guys, always. But for me, this rum just excites me more. It's a fact, you know. I'm just like, wow, what is that? This for me is the closest Barbados rum that I had over that 2 months to this is the RL Seal 10. But even then, in lightness, in finish, in that, but even then, it didn't really play a dance on my palate like this is doing. This is going all over the place, still as it finishes. Like 1 minute, I'm getting an after 8 chocolate on the finish. The next minute, I'm getting sort of tropical fruit pineapple. It's so bizarre. There's definitely no harsh woodiness to it. That's delicious. Yes, it does break my ceiling on this channel quite considerably. Let's put it up to 80 quid, which is, what did we say? That was, it's gone off. There we go. Virtually $100 US. But do you know what? If you like lighter types of rums that don't sacrifice quality, you know, this is 100% for you. Absolutely 100% for you. If you prefer those richer, robust kind of rums with lots of barrel aging, and you're coming from like real heavy, robust whiskies, malt whiskies, bourbons, ryes, all that sort of stuff, then this might not be for you. But if you like your lighter malt whiskies, Space Size, your Lowlands, all those sort of malt whiskies, then this is going to be right up your street. That's how it divides. For me, yeah, I'd no hesitations, I would have a bottle of that. That's delicious. And I'm really interested to see if I get a bottle, whether I get that mintiness coming off it. Yeah, cheers. Like that. Big fan.